First off,
Pleasure, Matt.
what do you see in terms of the commercial market? I mean, we've heard so many bank CEOs say maybe only half of our employees are going to go back. We just heard from Shopify there. We've heard from Facebook that they're going to start hiring people remotely. You could literally live in the BVIs and work for a major company in London, New York, or San Francisco. Does that hurt commercial real estate?
Well, it's definitely going to change the dynamics for offices. I mean, Zuckerberg said up to 50% of Facebook staff will be working from home in the next decade. But I think industry professionals see commercial offices changing into some kind of hybrid model, which combines home working, local office hubs, and a head office. But overall demand for conventional office space has to be falling. And you can see that in the share prices of major UK corporates that are exposed to the office market and the retail sectors, such as British Land and Land Securities.
Daniel, good morning. So how much office property can be repurposed for other uses, such as residential? And are there sort of legislative rules that get in the way of that happening?
Well, I think the government a few years ago introduced permitted development where offices could be changed to residential without planning permission. And that was very successful, but the quality of some of the accommodation that was produced wasn't up to the standard that you'd expect. But I think you're going to see more office hubs go to residential. Central areas such as the city, it's more difficult, and there's regulation to protect that. Canary Wharf is the big question because obviously the whole place is built on very substantial office footprints. And as a real estate investor, I'd be very concerned if I'd invested substantial capital in the Canary Wharf market. But you will see a lot of offices being converted to residential to help with the housing shortage, and retail property as well, which is obviously has been hit harder than offices already, and that trend's going to continue without a doubt.
What do you think about the suburbs right now, Daniel? I mean, we're seeing in New York, I know for sure, people are just crowding out to the suburbs of Westchester, Long Island, New Jersey. Everybody wants to get out of these dense urban areas. Are you seeing that too for Londoners? I mean, are people, I don't know where they would go, to Bexley, Heath, or Axford, or...
They're calling it deurbanization, aren't they? The slight left field issue that we've had is since lockdown started, we've probably had the best weather in record in the UK. So that drive is happening, but people think that it's so sunny and fantastic outside that they want to move to the country. And we're seeing inquiries for village properties soaring like we haven't seen since the late 80s. So I think it's very much a theme of the moment, Matt, but whether it will be sustainable when COVID is past us and the bad weather sets in, the days are shorter, and fundamentally humans are social beings. They want to meet after work for a drink. They want to see their friends. They want to play five-a-side football. And all of those things, it's not so easy to arrange when you're living in the suburbs. But I do see that commercial property in suburban areas, I think, is going to have a renaissance because, as I said, I think the office market will be split into three. So some people will work from home. The big corporates will still have a head office in major conurbations because they want that profile. And then there'll be a third leg, which we haven't seen, which is substantial localized suburban offices where people have the opportunity to work near their home, play near their home, eat near their home. And that will be a massive change.
So if office space is challenged, retail space has faced challenges for years, and they've intensified, of course. I guess you're looking at then which areas of real estate, residential, and you mentioned urban logistics and warehousing as well. Those two areas of the property market could be resilient.
Yeah, what we call it in the UK is beds and sheds. So obviously, if you look at a company like Segro, which focuses on urban logistics, their share price has been performing exceptionally well for the last 5 years and continues to hold, where as other quoted businesses are falling, the house builder stocks have proved relatively resilient as well. So I think you're right, Anna. We will see a drive towards repurposing town centre retail into mixed-use residential-led schemes where people can live in the centre of their town and their villages, have leisure around them. And I think that long-term institutional need for residential products is growing rapidly. And you're seeing pension deficits in the top 8 economies globally growing at an alarming rate. So if residential can be built and produce long-term income flows, that will be very attractive to pension fund managers. And with all new build property, there's going to be a huge drive to green construction. It's going to be a massive talking point. In 2018, 40% of the world's global emissions were from the construction and building industry. That has to come down. So I think you're going to see the construction of residential as a key factor in driving the UK economy out of recession, but it's going to have to be coupled with newer, greener methods of construction.